Welcome to Elevate Springfield, where we will dive into strategies and stories that help you rise to your full potential. Each episode, we'll talk about how you can take intentional steps to elevate your life and your business while making a meaningful impact on those around you. Along the way, we're going to bring in the change makers from our community that are already elevating. We'll bring the actionable strategies, you bring the discipline and follow through, and together we can elevate Springfield. All right, let's go, Springfield. Time to 10x your day, y'all. Time to level up, time to crush it. Hey, you are listening to the Elevate Springfield podcast. Robert Farrell here, certified 10x coach, speaker, and mentor, here to bring you actionable strategies. You bring the discipline and follow through, and together we're going to elevate Springfield. Well, you are listening to another segment of Communities Grow Together on the Elevate Springfield podcast. As you know, we drop these segments each week. The Communities Grow Together segment will touch on all things nonprofit associations and how we as a community are working together so we can all grow together. This segment is brought to you by David Hilst, American Family Insurance Agency over on West Wabash. Whatever you need insurance-wise, whether that's business, life, home, auto, or anything in between, hey, David and his team can take care of you. Give them a shout, or hey, stop by and visit them over on West Wabash. These segments are quick hits of actionable strategies and what's going on in our area to help you level up and grow together. Be right back after the break. Looking for personalized insurance with hometown care? David Hilst, American Family Insurance Agent, is here to help you protect what matters most: your family, your home, and your dreams. Whether it's auto, home, life, business, David and his team are proud to serve the Springfield community with trusted advice and reliable coverage. Local service, real relationships, peace of mind. Call today or stop by their office. They can build your dream protection plan together. Call 217-726-6343. All right, and we are back for another edition of Communities Grow Together, brought to you by David Hilst, American Family Insurance Agent. Hey, anything you need insurance-wise, commercial or personal, give them a shout. Head over to West Wabash and talk to his team there. They'll take care of you. Friend of the show, Mr. Jeff Dillman, joining us again. How we doing today, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
Don't even say it.
I feel a little bad that I'm the only one with coffee here. I mean, I went to all the trouble of got you that mug, and you...
I know it.
Specifically so we could have our coffee together.
I was kind of hoping that you'd had a spare cup up here, but obviously you don't. It's only about you right now. So.
That's right.
But no,
right.
I changed vehicles, and I'm thinking, where's my 10X cup? And I pulled up, and I'm like, doggone it. No cup
happens.
today.
Well,
it's cold outside. Didn't wear a jacket. Yeah. No coffee.
I'll give you a free pass. That is a pretty sweet ride you got, though.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
nice.
Thank you.
So,
thanks.
Well, Land of Lincoln Professional Networking Group, we talk about it a lot. We talk about all the events that we've done together with that group and Local First. We talked about all the great things happening within Land of Lincoln Professional Networking Group. Just about to hit a year. Thought it'd be cool to just kind of go back to see the background of Land of Lincoln, why you started it, and how that first year has gone. So
I'm still wondering why I started it. No,
right.
It's actually I formed it in January of 2025, so it has technically been a year. But I was waiting for a few months just to kind of figure out how it would look and how we would meet and all that. So technically formed it legally through the Secretary of State, formed a company in January, and we really kicked it off in April was our first meeting. But the truth of the story is why didn't do it to make money. We were sitting around a table and at the end of the year and at Masco, and my Masco team were always trying to find creative ways to how can we increase revenues and gain more business, and cold calling's good. We need to do that, but it's tough. A lot of people don't like to cold call, even though they say they do.
Sure.
But they don't, because results shows that. I mean, if you're cold calling 20 and you don't get one, maybe you're not a very good cold caller.
Right.
But we're throwing ideas around the table, and I'm like, there's something missing. I'm involved with the chambers, love them all. They're, you need to be involved with the chambers. So I don't want this to sound against it, because being on the board of Springfield Chamber of Commerce, past board member of the Chatham Chamber of Commerce, several other boards, there's a reason, there's a need. Local first, past president, past membership chair, current membership chair. There was just something missing. And then, these young guys, I mean, it really, and they all laugh because, especially Jack, we'll throw Jack out there with Clean Cut Painting Handyman, but because Jack at first I think is like, why you always say I'm young? Well, because it blew me away when I saw Justin Guernsey, who was, he's been on your show, and
absolutely,
and Will Farmia, and then Dalton Mender and Peyton Handy. I mean, I don't want to miss all the names because there's a lot of them, but I'm like, man, these guys kind of lit a match under this 61-year-old guy who I always thought I was pretty outgoing and not scared of anything, which is true, but definitely didn't want to start anything. And then threw this thing out thinking, what if I started a group that literally just met, no beer, no food, no drinks, nothing, even though you're sneaking drinks in every once in a while.
Right.
And we just roll our sleeves up, as I said, from day one, and let's just network. Let's talk about business. Instead of having a beer and socializing, we still have to socialize, right? And that's what we do. We still network at the other functions, and we socialize. This is totally, I think, 100% networking, but really get down to know each other, right? And then know what our businesses do, but the most important thing is utilize one another if you can. So I said, my goal was 25 businesses. Let's just go with 25, make it small, and let's just have a small setting, and let's see how this works. Well, then once the word got out, and then I formed an LLC, and then we came up with the name Land & Lincoln Professional Networking Group. Corey Taylor with Agility Technologies threw in. Robert Farrell, thank you, Robert, you threw in. Everybody. I mean, and then most importantly, Stephanie with Emerson Printing. I threw her the idea, and she threw back the logo, as the logo, as you can see, is pretty cool. I said I wanted to be of Lincoln somehow, some way, because of Land of Lincoln. And boom, formed it. And then all of a sudden, through the referral base of people talking, and that's what took 3 months of building it, it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and more inquiries kept coming in. And I'm like, holy cow. I mean, how big do we want this to be? So today, I think we technically probably sit around the 95, 96-ish, even though we all don't show up just because of particular schedules or reasons. But wow. Now, there's 200 or 300 that have been turned in on networking cards, that haven't been vetted, that haven't been pursued. So I always say, for all the people thinking I did this for money, you need to rethink that, because if I did, it wouldn't be $120.
Right. It wouldn't. And it wouldn't be limited to,
and it wouldn't be limited
per industry, things
and
like that.
And I would have 300 people in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So saying that, we've created really a good group. People have come and gone, and that's just the nature of the beast. They do
that's
that.
Going to happen with any group.
They do that with Local First. They do that with the chambers. That's just the way it is, right? No hard feelings. If you don't like something, then get out. Right. Instead of being that agitator and complainer, because I don't think any business should be labeled that way. Your best is to walk away. If you think it's working, then refer it, work it, use it. So then we, talking with you, we needed a better website. We appreciated what Corey did for us at Agility, got us off and running. You took us to the next phase, because technically that's really your expertise, where it wasn't his. But Corey, being a good friend, he got me going, and I appreciate that. So Corey, thank you. And then we said, let's try to be different, really different, and let's find a way that we can track these dollars amongst themselves. Not me putting numbers in, just pulling them out of the air.
Right. Having
these guys and gals, these businesses, throw their numbers to us on an economic impact form. And we're shy of 4 million in 9 months. Actually 10 months. Phenomenal. We probably are higher than that, we know. But a lot of that is coming from a small majority. I've had some discussions with some of the members that are complaining, maybe not complaining, just they don't understand why they're not getting business. Quite frankly, it's even us at Masco, we have to approach it in a different way and look at our approach, and our elevator speech may be the same. And everybody uses what we have. So we just have to sit back, be positive. And look, some of these are going to click better. So you got a tree that falls on a house, you're going to call a tree guy, right? You've got a new roof, you're going to call a roof guy. You need the inside done. Well, all of a sudden, when the tree fell on the house, you had a raccoon. And then you got somebody in the group that can abate that animal out of the house. And the list goes on and on and on. And that's how I envisioned it to work. Now, for some others that you might have a different type of professional business that might take a little bit more.
Right. Yeah. Because, I mean, with the fence, I just gave my cousin needed a fence. And he asked me, he said, hey, who do you recommend for a fence? And I sent over Juan Salas.
Yeah,
he's
absolutely.
part of our group.
Absolutely.
And he got the job and he's going to do the fence. That's a very easy referral. But something even maybe like my business, a coaching business in there, that's a little bit different sell.
It is.
Then, hey, I need a fence.
It is.
Give me the guy that does the fence.
It is.
Right. That's a different sell.
And I agree. And then when you look at, if you look at somebody doing a web-based program and you got somebody doing a social media program or a drone program, you just have to look and wonder, first of all, when I look at a business that I feel they're all equal, but one may be viewed as higher scale, good quality, nice product, just name recognition. And then you see somebody just coming in fresh and they're gaining business, and maybe the company that's been around for a while they're not getting a business. That's not a bad thing.
Right.
It just doesn't mean you're being outworked. It could possibly, right? Younger people are probably going to outwork us.
A little hunger. Yeah. A little hunger for it.
Might be, but also too, it comes down to quality and dollars, right? So when I look at somebody that's coming in and gaining more business in one particular category, one, they're probably more aggressive. Two, you got to remain positive. Three, you got to change your elevator speech, because we talk about this all the time at Masco. Four, maybe your price point's just too high, and that's okay. That's not your client anyway, right? So that's some of the discussions I've had over the past year. But I think our first year, we learned a lot. I don't think we made a lot of mistakes.
No, I don't think so.
I don't. I mean, we probably didn't give out as much money the first part of the year because we're concentrating more on building it. But, expenses, when you form an LLC, you've got a website, you've got a telephone, you've got postage. If these business people in this group understand business, you have business expenses. One person said to me, I thought you were going to give all the 100% of the profits to charity. Well, that's fine, but I wouldn't be able to have a phone, a website.
Your taxes on it.
My taxes, or pay my charter fees for filing or mailing something out, because we do when basically the way the system works, when you turn in a referral card, we mail out a postcard right away to that person saying, hey, there may be interest there. Robert from 10X said, you may be interested. So we do that right away and sometimes send an email. But I think what we learned in the first year is that obviously we've grown so big that we need locations. Very important. We appreciate pole barn. Ideally, though, so everybody understands, way I wanted the group to do is to be able to rotate so we could showcase the businesses within our group.
Certainly.
The problem is we've gotten large.
Yeah. So not everybody has a space to be able to accommodate that.
So we're very appreciative of pole barn, but we do have to move around. That's just something I would like to see to do. Thank God for pole barn. It's a great venue. The parking's great. Audrey's opened the doors. Angie's awesome to work with.
No doubt about it.
We'll continue to utilize that space, but every once in a while, like we were recently at Cured Catering in Arlington.
Yeah, and that was great.
Nice venue, a different way to showcase it. We'll go back one more time there. But I think, for the first year, just understanding the do's and the don'ts. I may have misled the way I approached membership, that I thought membership would have 100% of the say. They can't have 100% of the say because it's a business, right? I pay taxes on this. I'm a tax-paying person. I have nothing to hide, obviously. So what you're going to see here, we just voted on it, so we're going to make sure that we vote to keep everybody happy, and I think that's what we should do. And we recently just did that with Compass for Kids. Family Service Center got our first 1,000. That's because our focus was our two nonprofits in the group should benefit most.
No doubt about it.
Now, what's interesting is after this last tally that we had at Arlington's, by the way, it was a landslide, pretty much 51 total votes to nothing was Compass for Kids. The nice thing what came out of it was Springfield Art Fair, some recommendations, Impact for Life, Senior Service Center of Illinois. They're hurting. They need some funds. So there's a few others that came out. So we'll look at those later down the line. But 51, I mean, that was a landslide. 100% of people said Compass for Kids. And I just think that's right. Now, what's interesting is several said that our nonprofits in our group should get a percentage every time we give money.
Oh, that's interesting.
I thought that was interesting. And that, I don't want to call them out, but I know exactly who they were, and I love it, and I think it's a great idea. But we'll let membership vote on that.
Yeah,
right?
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, it really is, because they're really partaking and pushing it. I can tell you for Family Service Center, since I am involved, it's helped name recognition. So when people say, why are they in it? Well, they're in it because for name recognition. Being around since 1865, people have no idea who they are. And this has helped Karen expand the knowledge. And this, once again, why this group was started, to get to know one another, the knowledge of who that nonprofit is. There's 2,000 or 3,000 nonprofits in Springfield. I think we just heard that. Where was that?
The Growth Alliance, the annual meeting.
Membership. Yeah. So we heard that. It's like, but I think when you go back to look at it, is I don't fault anything I look at it. I mean, people are going to have opinions. That's just the way it is. And I'm fine with that. But I think let's keep it positive. As I stressed the last meeting, we understand in that group that you may have a roofer, you may have a painter, you may have a fence guy, you may have a mechanic.
Right.
That's okay. It doesn't mean that you have to use the people in the group, but just don't talk about the people in the group.
Right.
Exactly. Let's work together.
Yeah.
And those
few negativity out of it.
Right,
just like my band I wear every day.
Right.
No negativity allowed.
Right. And that's the thing. When I sat around the tables at this last meeting, people are just dumbfounded that it's happening. And it's going to happen because you have people, right? Mm-hmm. You have personalities. You have different personalities. But you know what? Hats off to everybody in the group, because, they show up. What they forget is the guy, when I say the guy, me planning this, is I do this not during my regular work hour time, because Masco is where my bread and butter is. Mm-hmm. So I'm doing this on the side, and I'm trying to find the most effective way to do it early in the morning, and to do all the work to figure out table, seat assignments and all that. I think people don't realize that it's not an army of people doing it. It takes time.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I can vouch for that. I can't count how many times you and I have had email conversations at 5:30 in the morning.
Right.
Over stuff.
Right. And that's how I function. But because I want to be true to who I work for. I've always been that way. And I also want to give allotment of time, because I serve on several boards, so everybody gets that allotment of time, and I can manage that. I always say that I'm a very rare, odd person, because not many people probably can juggle. Some things probably suffer. I'm not perfect. Mm-hmm. But when I look at the things I juggle, I wouldn't know how not to do that. I've always been that way. So I'm usually in the work at 5:30 in the morning, and I'm doing all my other work until 7, and then I'm back into the game of Masco. Now, occasionally you'll get a phone call during the day, but what I've seen is with the group is, you and I always talk about this, when you know you're doing something right is when people start talking, right? So let's just, once again, we'll set the record straight, is we're not targeting anyone. You know, I think that the relationship with Local First, thank you, and to the board, has been very good. And we're showing that collaboration, that if Local First gets a member and I'm on the membership team, I don't immediately call them to say, you need to join the Land of Lincoln, because there's ethics there.
Right.
I believe don't do that. Right. Now, if it's talked about amongst,
of course,
that's fine. Now, when I talk to people with Land of Lincoln about the opportunities, I talk to them about both.
Yeah,
because
no doubt about it.
You need to be in both. But I won't personally target, because then I think then that's, I think, is not ethical, and that is a problem, because then you're going to say, well, I signed up for Local First. I shouldn't have. I should have done Land of Lincoln.
Right.
I don't want that. I don't need that, right? The cool thing about this is this whole thing was created for them to find us. Mm-hmm. So them to find us, not us to find them. And I'm still true to that today. Now, I do send out a few from the referral-based side, but I'm not personally just going to pick up the phone and say, oh, there's Chuck in the truck. I want him in my group.
Exactly.
Right? I think there's more value, as we've talked about originally. There's more value into something when you find it. Mm-hmm. You put more interest and heart into it.
No doubt about it.
And I think that for the people that have dropped out, it just wasn't the right fit, or they missed 3 meetings, and for whatever reason, whether son, family, or just didn't give a damn.
Right. Didn't work.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's okay. And that's why I always tell people it's fine. It's okay. But there's a lot more like you out there that probably want to get in it. So we have a few categories that I'm surprised through the first 9 months. Might as well say a year now because we're coming up on it. But for the first year that we haven't really made solid contact with,
Right.
but that's okay. They're out there. Go to LLPNG.com, check it out, look at that roster. If you feel that you fit it, do the right thing. But I think for 2026 is we experienced, once again, we're trying something different. We used AI generated seating because how else do you do it? And to keep everybody happy. Yeah, I've sat with a few people at the same time.
Sure.
There's not a whole lot I can do about that because when you look at 96 people and 47 come one meeting, next meeting 74 come, it's just not going to balance out, right? It's just not.
Yeah.
So we did the poker chip thing. And,
it was fun. I liked it.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, people wanted to keep the poker chips. I guess they could have, but we did that, and I think that came up with my Will at Masco, sitting at a round table discussion, just saying, hey, let's try this maybe. And it was pretty cool to hear people's reaction when they came in. Oh, that's cool. That's different. Because then it's not assigned, and it's can't be pinpointed. That's the chip you picked. You could have rattled around and picked another chip.
Yeah, that's just what you got.
You picked that. But I think one thing I did differently, I walked around for the tables that had maybe not quite 10, said, hey, if once you get going and we get everything ready, just move.
Yeah.
Go ahead and move.
Yeah.
Because now we don't have seat assignments. And the thing is that the paying in advance, it ruffled maybe 1% of the population, right? I don't quite understand why, but that's okay. Everybody has a right to an opinion.
Right.
But the thing is, if you realize how much time we spend on collecting money, because what people don't know is even though there's 96 people don't pay every month, right? 47 show up, and then you lose out on another 49 that could have went to charity that didn't go to charity.
They didn't.
So that money never factored in. Once again, didn't do this for money, and I don't focus on that. Some do. I don't. But I think just so everyone knows, that was money lost that could have went to charity. So when people wonder where the money went, the money never came.
Never came in some instances,
because we could have gave out a lot more money, obviously. So we're poised to give out $1,000 here next month to Compass for Kids, and Brandy's happy. Brandy's wonderful. She's part of our group. Compass for Kids, they do great things. Matter of fact, a local FBI, Springfield Citizens Academy Alumni Board, I'm the president of. We're feeding Compass for Kids this week. So 35 kiddos are going to get Big Boys Barbecue.
There you go.
A few other sides, but we got a lot of the board members are going to chip in, and we're going to go feed the kiddos this week. So once again, another connection that we made through the networking group that we found out that 5 days a week, kiddos need fed. We're going to jump in, and Land of Lincoln can do this too. Really, any business can do this, right? We're excited for that. Then what we'll do in February, we'll put another polling out, and we'll let people give us some other ideas where to go. And then I think I'll start doing smaller increments of giving some money out, maybe not right away, but maybe that next quarter we'll maybe pick 2 or 3 and just give a little less instead of everybody 1,000.
Right.
I just thought that for our group, our membership, that they're part of it. Let them reap the benefits.
No, I completely agree there. Yeah. Take care of the group members first, and then push out from there.
But I think other than that, for 2026, the seat assignment, we'll do the poker way again, the poker chip way. I think it was kind of cool. Less work for us. Matter of fact, your idea, we're gonna take you on that idea of putting the QR code on the table to track attendance, because we got to make sure that you don't miss 3 meetings. So we'll do that QR code, and we'll have each team facilitator just really all they have to really do is just say, everybody,
scan the code. Let's go.
Scan in. That way we know you're there, because we'll still hold what membership wants. If you miss 3 meetings, you're out. And then just make it less work for me and more time to network, right? Because even though we still fiddled around, we still didn't get started till about 20 after.
Right.
So I think, I think also for 2026, we'll let membership decide, but I think we are going to put more educational stuff in. We got the fraud event coming in March.
That'll be a good one.
That'll be a good one, alongside with the FBI Springfield Citizens Academy Alumni Board, as well as Local First. That'll be cool to hear from S.A. Tanner, Special Agent Tanner, on what's going on with the FBI. Hopefully there's no government shutdown again, so we can make this happen. And then we'll get into things like maybe, sessions on, David Swihart's talked about doing a session training free for the group. 10X, I'm sure, you and Chris would do that in a heartbeat. But then once again, not to be like everyone else, but what can we do?
Mm-hmm.
But I think on collecting the money thing it's just, it was just a way to go,
Yeah.
right? But we listened. When you built that for us, we were looking at the straight 120. Then we got a little bit of from back saying, I can't do
Right.
that. I can only do monthly. So we created a monthly. So it doesn't matter which way it comes. It's $120.
Right.
Whether you're paying 10 a month or you're paying 120.
Right. Exactly.
But I get it. So once again, we listened the best we can, and we created, and we dealt with the issue, and there we are. So there's a very few that have not paid, and we'll just go from there and see what happens. But when you look at majority rules, over 90% of the people jumped on board and just said, I'm glad. I don't want to mess with this.
Yeah, exactly. Saves everybody.
So, nothing
everybody
to hide.
time.
Yeah, nothing to hide, nothing goofy. It's just what we do. Even though we don't want to be like everyone else, they're not going to take the time to do that either. I don't like the fact that it may upset 1% of the population, but it is what it is. It's either good for you or it's not good for you. But I would almost say that it's been pretty good for most people.
Yeah, I think so. Everybody I've talked to, yeah.
Now, what's important to me is that, when you're sitting at a table as a facilitator and you hear someone, I'm just not getting anything out of it. Those are the people that we don't want to attack. We want to help them. I just had a conversation the other night with someone that wasn't upset, was just frustrated. And they're paying out of their own pocket. The business isn't paying for it. And they're just not seeing anything. So we talked a little bit about maybe changing the elevator speech up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also don't compare yourself to someone else, because if you're the market leader, and that's not being arrogant, but if you're the market leader and you've got Joe Bob over here, and no disrespect to Joe Bob,
right,
and he's hitting it, then maybe, what I would do personally, what I've always done is, oh, hell no. What's going on here?
Come on.
No, I'm just as good.
Right.
Let's do it. And that's where you put the competitive side into it, because that always reminds me of, sitting back at a job. When I walked into a job, I made a career change after I left government. And I said in the interview, and competition made me think of that. And he said, well, you're not going to make a whole lot. It's going to take you 2 or 3 years to get to the salary you need. But if you listen to me, I'm going to show you how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So that interview, I trusted him, and I did it.
Yeah.
And the first day I went into the meeting room, because we all had one office, I had a salesman come up to me and say, just so you know, don't get comfortable. You're never going to beat me. I get a gift card every month because I'm in top sales, and I have been for 3 years. And but I just want you to know my name is such and such, and good luck. He won't listen to this because he doesn't listen to podcasts, but I think he would say that the first month in sales, he didn't beat me.
Come on.
And for 2 years, he never caught me. And I still hold the most revenue brought in a single year at nearly $1 million. Still have the record.
Yes, sir.
Ended up being a regional manager over 25 states or so. Don't ever say that. So when I looked at the competition side, I looked at Land Lincoln. I knew never once in my mind did I think it was not going to be successful, because what do? We surround ourselves around people that will make us successful, and we work as a team because it's a team effort.
Right.
This wasn't all Jeff. There was a lot of people involved with it. My staff at Masco has been very helpful. The ownership at Masco has been very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
The young guns, the young entrepreneurs, all those kids out there. As I say, I'm an old man. I can call them my kid.
That youth infusion.
And they still tend to light it up today. I think you saw at the last meeting, Jack just had no idea he was going to do it. Just got up and said, hey, come on.
Yeah.
This is a good thing, and I want to thank this guy. I mean, teared me up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect him to do that, but it just took a lot of people to make this happen. And, but when you look at Local First, I mean, it's the same format. I mean, same structure, different angle, same purpose, to get local businesses to buy from, stay local, think local, locally owned.
That's right.
So looking at 2026, just have fun, less stress, less work with it, more collaboration, I think, amongst each other, and educational stuff. Quit worrying about the money, give out money, and have fun.
Mm-hmm.
I told you before the last meeting, I just feel like I'm losing my mojo a little bit, a little frustrated, and that's just internal stuff. It's okay to say that.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
you're a better person when you admit it instead of hiding it, right? Frustrating, but I was like, in a sense, I'm not scared to say it. I kind of I wasn't even looking forward to it. And when I walked into that room, first of all, the atmosphere at Arlington's and Brian's smiling face. Brian, I love Brian and his wife, Melissa. And just the way it was set up and the poker chip way, I had a good vibe and it was all positive. And I think I told you maybe the next day, because you said I was about to ask.
Yeah, I was about to ask the same thing because I felt the energy.
Back.
Got that mojo back. Let's go.
Back. But once again, thankful. People like you become a good friend, and as well as the membership, it just shows you we're doing the right thing. So, yeah, so good year. Looking forward to what this year is going to bring. I said that in the beginning of the year, if we had 28 people, we're still going to go.
Right.
If we have 100, we're going to go harder.
Get going.
And if we have 28, we'll get back to 100. But I think there's enough businesses out there. What I want membership to do this year is have the same confidence and feel that this is a good group, that you would refer people to the group. We took away the networking cards. Once again, we listen. Right, re-listen, and they said, "Well, we're running out of people." I can understand that, right? But now we still should refer some.
Still need to refer, yeah.
So if you would ask me how many networking cards did we get last month, at last month's meeting, two, where we used to get basically 50 times 2, 100, right? And that's okay. So what I want to do is just make sure people. I still want them to refer. Today I got a nice referral. And shout out to David Swihart. He introduced me to someone that would be good for the group. And there's a process. So there's a vetting process. Just because you think they're good for the group, we want to make sure people don't have, and it's a two-way street, everybody has a story, but we want to make sure there's not a negativity. Because one thing of building this group was, I can say in that group, 98% of the people I know. But we want to make sure you're returning phone calls, you're responding, emails, you're not on social media talking about other people. We don't want that in the group, right? Because it's hard to refer somebody that way. So there's a vetting process that you help set up. So they'll go through the process, answer some questions, key questions, and we'll take it from there. So I hope this year will be a good referral year for us to continue, because it is kind of fun. My personal goal was 4 new businesses every month, because that way you can showcase those 4 new businesses every month and just show the group it's not stagnant, that you have somebody new coming in. You're going to have people come and go, but have somebody new coming in, because you really need to tell your story different every time. Because I can tell you with Masco, it's simple. Toilet paper, you use this stuff every day, right? And if you tell me you don't, you're crazy. But we can also expand that out as well, as we also have the packaging side sometimes that we don't tend to talk about. I think just like anything, I've always said in training, Michael Jordan, most people wouldn't know, he was the greatest for many reasons, but if he missed free throws during a game, he would stay after the game and shoot 100 free throws until he was almost near perfect. Tiger Woods, same thing. Tiger would change the clubs up. Like he had a bad game, so he'd putt or he'd chip, whatever he did. That's why he's the greatest. When I look at, our cousin, Ryan Gerard, who's ranked 30th in the world at 26 years old, just finished second behind Scotty Scheffler in this last week's tournament. Scotty Scheffler, second.
That's
pulled
awesome.
in probably close to $500,000 off of that. Same discipline. I never realized discipline in sports and athletes. I was always working. I'm very athletic, even though in school, Coach Harback from Decatur, MacArthur,
absolutely,
knocking on the door, want me to run. But when I went to a couple years ago, we went up to PGA tournament. I saw what he goes through. I had no idea, and maybe that sounds goofy, but when I look at that discipline, it's the same discipline we need to use in the group, we need to use in our life, and everything. But I mean, he plans the game out. He's looking at the tournament, where he's at, what the course looks like. He's signing golf balls because he has to sign so many balls. He's got Titleist as a sponsor. He's got Berkeley Insurance as another sponsor. And then all the stuff he has to do to give merch out, and it just blew my mind. And then the discipline on eating. The kid would eat 2 steak fillets, mac and cheese, and he'd disappear. You wouldn't see him rest of the night. He'd visit, eat, and go. But it just blew my mind. But when you look at that, that's the same stuff we need to do as we look in a group.
No doubt about it.
When we're looking, you coach it probably, change your game. I mean, if it's not working for you, don't blame the group. Maybe start by blaming yourself. And that's hard to do, right? But I always say, look in the mirror, you're at fault. If you come back without a sale, it's your fault. Until you believe that, you're not going to change.
No.
So that's what I say with the group. When I've talked to a few. Critical, I understand. Let's help you. But maybe look at yourself and maybe it's your approach. Maybe you just need to change that elevator speech. So I'm hoping we'll see some of that this year. And one thing I like is that any introvert in a group, that's fine. It's okay to be. We're going to help you. We don't have to point you out, but we're going to help you. I know there's 2 in this group that I thought there's no way they're going to get swallowed up in this membership with all these people. But I can tell you, and I don't ever want to name them, I will tell you, I am totally blown away and very proud of them because today they don't have a problem talking to people and they're right in it.
Love it.
You know, one of them came up to me and said, I'm really pissed at you. You are? What'd I do? Oh, you don't want to know. Well, yeah, I do want to know because if you are, call me.
Right.
You don't need to tell me here, but that was one where I really saw where we tried to help them. And I think we did somehow, some way. I think they helped probably themselves more, but no, Robert, you know, good. Looking forward to 2026. We'll see what happens and go from there. But that's really the Land of Lincoln story.
I love it. Like you said a second ago with the discipline, and it all starts with commitment, accountability to what you're doing, and then the discipline to roll it to do that. So that's really what it's all about. But
it does.
Now, kudos to a great first year. I'm looking forward to all the greatness that's coming this year and all the impact that it's going to make. So just a phenomenal group and great job with everything you've done with it.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And it takes a team. Remember, I can't sit here and singly say that I did it. I don't really want to form a board. I'll probably form some sort of an advisory committee as we've been talking about. But I don't want to rush in that either. Just to make sure that really the advisory committee is just to make sure that we don't run stagnant, right? Mm-hmm. That we want to be around for a while because we are different than other groups, even though we have the same purpose. But we'll probably look into that, and I'm sure you'll be on that advisory committee. And we've got a few others out there that have shown interest. So, but we'll go from there. So, let's make it a good year. We're already here. Let's just
continue to make it a good year. So, before we close out for today, quick announcement: you've got a podcast coming out on Monday on the Masco side. So, give us the brief on that.
You know, just a quick rundown. We came out as podcasters probably 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and we thought we knew what we were doing, and obviously we did, and we tried to be everybody that we, you know, other than ourselves, and so we kind of took a time off. But what's interesting, Robert, all that time off, people are wondering, where's it at? So people must have listened, right? It was kind of goofy, but so we sat around the table and we threw Emerson Press in for a logo, and we said, let's focus on something that is really we can utilize in all the groups, Local First, Springfield, and Land of Lincoln. Let's talk about clean and local. We really didn't know what that meaning was, clean and local. Does that really going to matter to people out there? So we came out with what we call clean and local, and you're our professional podcaster producer. We appreciate that. And so our first one's coming out next Monday. We're excited. I forgot what I said and what Crest said. But we feel that, once again, in the world of what we do as wholesale distribution, we need to be different in our competition. And don't be scared. Whether you like it or not, we hope you do, but you like it or not, our competition isn't doing that. So that's one thing we always look at. So clean and local is we're going to focus on maybe particular items, our locally owned businesses that are utilizing our services and what we're using. So stay tuned for that, and we'll just see where it goes. But we're excited for it to come out. With your help in production, we're going to come out with that just once a month, and that way we were trying to do it weekly, and we just didn't realize the planning of all that, you know, and the time commitment and all that. So we're kind of out monthly, so we're excited. We're excited to see the shape and what it's going to look like, what it's going to sound like, and we do have a funny little blooper, I guess we could talk about.
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess we could say it, right? So as you know, we did our first one. We were all excited. We thought, well, what did it really go the way we wanted? Probably not. And then, I don't know, maybe at 7:20 that night, I get an email from you saying, hey, man, I hate to tell you this, but I think your mic was muted through most of it. So I think that's a blessing from the man above.
Right.
He led us in the right direction. And so we had to redo it.
Yeah.
And round two was better.
Yeah.
So there's a reason, right?
Yeah.
So as we always say in faith, the guy above, I think he led us in the right direction of saying, that one stunk. You need to redo it. And that's the reason why. Somehow, some way, I touched the mic. I guess. I don't know. I must have. So anyway, stay tuned. So we're excited for that. And thank you for all your help with that.
No, happy to help. Monday, February 2nd. Check that out on all your favorite podcast outlets. So we'll drop that then. Looking forward to it. Well, Jeff, appreciate it as always.
Hey, always enjoy it. I think I need to co-host or something. But,
I think we do.
Yeah, I need
Well, I mean, you're pretty much
I need
recurring
to fill
now.
out an application
Yeah,
or
we
something.
need to get you an official spot, and rather than just the recurring contributor.
But I think in compliment to you too, this has made a world of difference for businesses in our community. Showcased in a recent top 3 or something.
Yeah, for the Afro House.
For the Afro House,
that was cool. Yeah,
which I didn't know anything about the Afro House. I was kind of jealous I wasn't there, but I'm glad you were. That was kind of cool. But
I woke up and I was surprised by it. I had no idea about it, and then I saw it on socials that morning. Oh, that's really cool, man.
But just like you, I think you're making a difference in the community, and it's impacting, and I think people see that as well. So thank you for what you do, because it does make a difference, and you're showcasing all these locally owned businesses and your sponsors. And David Hilst, he's an awesome guy. So we always have to talk about David. He's very helpful in the community as well. He'd be in Land of Lincoln if he could, but I wanted to just shout out to you on that too, because Elevate Springfield's made a world of difference. So, and we appreciate being a friend, and we like to be on here, and we want to keep being on here.
Absolutely. We'll continue to do it. Appreciate all the kind words, brother. We're going to continue to grow together and have this community grow together. Right?
That's right. We got to plug that.
All right. Well, we're going to let Jeff get back to elevating Springfield. But for the rest of y'all, we'll be right back.
Hey, Springfield, when it comes to reliable, high-quality roofing, you don't want to leave things to chance. That's why you should reach out to Acosta Angeli Roofing, your local roofing experts serving Springfield and surrounding communities. From quick, dependable repairs to full replacement, from residential to commercial, they are your trusted pros. Call them today at 217-993-2748 or visit their website to book your free quote and inspection. Don't wait. A little leak now could lead to major damage later. Trust the local experts, protect your home, and get peace of mind with Acosta Angeli Roofing. Well, thank you for joining us today, everybody, on another segment of Communities Grow Together on the Elevate Springfield podcast. Thank you again to David Hilst, American Family Insurance Agency, for partnering with us on this segment. Hey, take what you learned today. You bring the discipline and follow through, and together, that's right, y'all, we're going to elevate Springfield. Be great. Looking for expert tree care with hometown integrity? Look no further than Sangamon Tree Service. They're your trusted local pros, delivering quality workmanship, exceptional customer service, and fair, honest pricing every time. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, their team brings professionalism and care to every job, big or small. Call the name your neighbors trust, Sangamon Tree Service, or visit them today at SangamonTreeService.com. Sangamon Tree Service, rooted in quality, built on trust.